somebody that's been at his position or in this industry for 20 years, because that's the kind of industry knowledge we try to bring in here. Most of the experts, if you notice, have 15, 20, 25 years or more experience. We won't talk about the old guys, but like me, I have 25 years experience. I started when I was 12. And right now we have an expert that lives right here, actually lives near my home area right there in Saugus. And he lives in Santa Clarita, has been in his position, loves what he does. He's an expert at what he does, works with an incredible company, and a good guy. We have Mr. Ken Harris in the house today. How you doing, Ken?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Okay, your first words are out. You're all good now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't had the pleasure of having Ken on the show yet, and we're excited because what he's bringing to the table today is something you really need to listen to. Even if you are not a real estate investor today, there's a good chance you will be, because real estate is the best investment there is. Over time, more millionaires are made through real estate than anything else. So if you aren't investing today, you may be, or you'll know somebody who does, whether it's your parents, whether it's your coworkers, and you can pass on this incredible information that Ken has for us today. So you will be the good guy. You'll be the smartest person again at the water cooler, sharing, going, hey, did you know about 1031 exchanges? Now, before you run off and go, oh my gosh, what the heck is that? Is that a new tax code? Is that a new energy drink? Is that a new flu bug that you pass around? No. It is an opportunity, a great opportunity for investors to leverage their cash flow. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
All right. Yeah. See, we told not to give one word answers, but I want to go into depth.
That was three, though.
That was three.
Well, and the only reason I cut you off, Ken, is because I want to clarify. I would love for you to go in depth. We're talking nice and slow about what a 1031 exchange is, because there's a lot of moving parts to it, but it is fairly simple what the opportunity is. Am I right?
Yes, you are. Gino was talking about the fear of people hearing earlier of what a 1031 exchange is, and I remember coming into the industry, learning what exchange was, and I had a fear too, 1031 tax-deferred exchange. But what we're here for is really to make it easier for everyone. 1031 exchange is a tax code, a tax shelter that the IRS gives us, and usually on a state-by-state basis they give us the tax shelter also. So the state of California also gives us this shelter. So what it says basically is property held for productive use and trade and business or as an investment property can be traded for like-kind property without the recognition of gain or loss. Okay, so basically what you have is investors.
Clarify for this. That was very eloquent there.
I basically tried to go with the
You've said that
read the
before.
code verbatim basically for you guys.
You're protecting your you-know-what.
Exactly.
Protecting your assets.
Yeah. It's investors. Typically, it could be an investor that owns the single-family residence that they rent out. It could be the mechanic that owns his real estate portion of his shop.
Wow.
So it's basically property that's held as an investment property. They want to sell it and exchange it for another piece of investment property. So by doing that, you can defer your capital gains tax. It's not a tax-free exchange, but you're deferring your basis into the purchase of replacement property.
So that's where the leveraging your cash flow comes into play, which is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times our clients, they want to, move into something bigger instead of paying Uncle Sam. Up to right now, it's a good time to have me because the new capital gain rates. So we could go into that, but
we
instead
will.
of paying Uncle Sam up to it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on the asset they have. They can instead roll that cash into other property or multiple properties and increase their cash flow.
Okay, we love Uncle Sam, but we don't have to give him any more money. So we have a way to tax defer your investment income potentially, or your capital gains. And we'll talk about that too. We'll go into detail on how it affects your capital gains and some of the changes in capital gains. But bottom line, it is a legal tool written into our tax code.
One of the few tax shelters they give us.
I love that word shelter. That's exactly what this is. It's a shelter. You don't get to not pay the tax on it, but you're sheltered from it. You're protected from it for the immediate time being. And, the thing that's interesting about that is technically speaking, you really never have to pay the tax until you die when you leave it. And if you probably leave it in a trust, maybe you don't even have to ever pay the tax, and you leave it to your kids, hopefully.
Yeah, we got Lisa Odom talking about that next week.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
That's actually a good point, though. A lot of my clients will tell me I'm just going to exchange until I die. The reason they do it is they get the step up in basis. So they're going to leave it to their kids. They get the step up in basis. They may not have to pay taxes when they sell the property.
I want to try that with my liver. Just exchange it all the time until I die. Sorry, I just had to throw that out.
I'm not sure what the number on that exchange is, but it sounds expensive.
No, I put an ad in eBay all the time. I get outbid every time.
So I like that. And so what I think is critical that you said there is, I think that you said maybe a real estate portion. Everybody thinks, I think, that this, what you said, like for like. So what does like for like mean? Does that mean a house for a house, an apartment building for an apartment building, a mechanic shop for a mechanic shop? Elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, a lot of people call me and think, oh, I'm selling a single-family residence that I've been renting out. I have to buy a single-family residence. Not the case. It's real broad. So basically what you're looking at is you have to sell a piece of real estate that you've held for investment and exchange it for another piece of real estate that you've held for investment. So it's real broad. So if you want to go from vacant land to single-family residence, or single-family residence to multi-family use, or commercial industrial, you could intermingle it. As long as it's real estate and it's been held as an investment property, then you can exchange it.
So there actually is there a lot of flexibility with this code. I mean, a lot of people think like for like, oh, I wanted to buy this apartment building, but I own a single family now, I can't do it. But it's investment for investment, basically.
Exactly. And as long as it's real estate. A lot of people will ask me, can I go and buy, a tractor or something? No, it can't be. There are personal property exchanges. 99% of the time we do real estate exchanges, but real estate for real estate is considered like-kind property. And as long as it's within the United States. A lot of times people want to go to Costa Rica or something like that. It's as long as it's within the United States. Yeah, exactly. But you can't exchange into property over there. As long as you sell from California to California, or California to New Jersey, as long as you can intermingle any state.
So here I am being creative on that, because so we talk a lot about real estate, and you said that's the most common type, but you said you can exchange personal property.
Yes.
Okay, so what about, can you exchange, let's say you have a business, right, and that business has goodwill. Let's say you have a pizza parlor. Yeah. And you're done with the pizza business. You're out of pizzas, and you're going to get into a franchise. Yeah. Can you do that?
You can. We had a transaction where the dentist owned his piece of real estate where he did his practice. And obviously the dental equipment, the x-ray machines, the chairs is very expensive. A lot of times there's personal property in a transaction, but typically if the value is less than about 15% of the sales price, they just don't do a personal property exchange. But in this case, it was considerable amount, the amount of equipment he was selling. He was moving. He was kind of wanting to get to a smaller area, maybe retire up there. He ended up selling the real estate portion that he owned of the dental practice and the dental equipment. So we did two separate exchanges for him. So the dental equipment, the like kind, is they're more strict on that. If he's going to sell a dental chair, he needs to buy a dental chair. Oh, wow. So the x-ray machine, he has to, buy another x-ray machine. So it's more strict when it gets into personal property exchange, but you can do a personal property, and it would be separate from your real estate exchange.
All right. Okay. So we have Ken Harris with First American Exchange Company, simplifying 1031 exchanges, one of the best opportunities for you to take advantage of a tax shelter that can save you money and leverage your cash flow. We're going to go in depth a little bit more and teach you more when we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. We'll be right back.